This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. For too long, women's serious midlife health issues have been trivialized, ignored, and met with a just deal with it attitude. Many of us have been made to feel ashamed or forgotten. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But here's the powerful truth. It's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI is not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. What sets MIDI apart? We are the only women's telehealth brand covered by major insurance companies, making high-quality, expert care accessible and affordable for all women everywhere. Our clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. We offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions, from hormonal therapies and weight loss protocols to lifestyle coaching and preventive health guidance. This isn't a one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will join our patients who feel seen, heard, and prioritized. You will find that our mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the health care they deserve. Because we believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It's just the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Hey, this is Dan Harris, host of the 10% Happier podcast. I'm here to tell you about a new series we're running this September on 10% Happier. The goal is to help you do your life better. The series is called Reset. It's all about hitting the reset button in many of the most crucial areas of your life. Each week, we'll tackle a topic like how to reset your nervous system, how to reset your relationships, how to reset your career. We're going to bring on top-notch scientists and world-class meditation teachers to give you deep insights and actionable advice. It's all delivered with our trademark blend of skepticism, humor, credibility, and practicality. 10% Happier is self-help for smart people. Come join the party.
Let's go.
He's Derek.
Category is shady. Woo, that's right, girl.
She's Romaine.
I am a horny lesbian. I like to have sex. If I was single, I'd be having sex.
This is Derek and Romaine.
2.0, bitches. Hello, Derek. Happy day indeed.
Happy to you too, Romaine.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like I'm in a good mood today. I don't know
Just this
why.
One time.
You know, it's just, yes, it happens on occasion where I wake up and I think, oh, today's a great day. Oh, look at that. What a nice day today is. Did I mention today's lovely? Because it is.
Yes, but also because of our guest who's going to be joining us.
I'm very excited about our guest this hour because it's someone we know well, someone we haven't talked to in a long time, and someone who we get to enjoy their success, which I always enjoy. So I love it when people we know are successful. So in a little bit, we'll be joined by, do we want to tell him? Yeah. Our former intern, Chanel, is going to join us to talk about her life and her new book and all kinds of stuff that she's got going on. And it'll be lovely. It's been a long time since she was an intern too, Derek. I think she was an intern back in like 2011, I want to say.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
It was a long time ago. But she's had a very interesting life, and so it'll be fun to catch up with her and find out what she's been up to. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm in a good mood. I love it. I
agree. Well, Chanel has a book out that is about her dealing with toxic people. And her first thought was, oh, I should definitely talk to Derek and Romaine.
Wow. That's great. Yes, we're toxic. We're the most toxic. We might be the most toxic. No, that's not true. I don't think we're toxic at all. Okay, maybe a little. But
I think they're
Poco.
Look, we talk a bit about. I don't want to bury the lead on Chanel's thoughts on how toxic or not toxic we are. But look, there are definitely people who don't like us.
What? Why would that be the truth? Why?
Girl, you know that's true.
I know.
Don't even pretend like it's not true.
I know. I like to think we're the most likable people in the world, but I know we're not.
I like to think that we are, affable people. We work hard. We raise money for charities, and we like to help out younger people.
Right, with our
Chanel came through
internship. Yeah.
as an intern, and I think that she felt that it was a valuable internship experience for her. I think we have an excellent track record of fostering and mentoring young people at the beginnings of their careers.
We really do.
I have to say, like of the group of people that we work with, the people that regard us the best are absolutely interns, which I think says a lot. I mean, less so producers, but or bosses, but I think it speaks well to us that the people who work with us the most, who have the highest regard for us, are interns.
Right.
Because I think it says a lot about how you treat people. Because an intern is, a powerless person.
Right.
And, both of us really don't like the way that other people treat interns. That it's some kind of horrible rite of passage where you get treated horribly. So someday when you're in charge, you can treat other people horribly.
How nice.
And I think that
gross.
just perpetuates a cycle of horrible behavior.
It does.
That I think is unnecessary.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well,
Agreed.
this is sort of a Hollywood thing, because there are some extremely toxic bosses in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Like famously toxic Hollywood bosses. But the feeling in Hollywood was, oh, well, if you worked 1 year for the absolute worst, most toxic Hollywood people, well, you can work anywhere, because you'll put up with considerably less toxic behavior from someone else.
Right.
But to me, what that says is Hollywood people know what trash they are and how awful they are to people. That they're like, well, at least I'm only 70% as bad as whoever.
That's not good. 70%'s not good. That's still bad.
Yeah. So I think if you're running around going, well, I'm not a good person, but at least I'm not Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby or Scott Rudin. Like, who is that? Is that good? Like, that's not good.
Not good.
It's just like, oh, well, sure, I'm a dictator, but I'm no Mussolini or Pol Pot. I'm like, but
doesn't make you good.
This is the bar you are comparing
Right.
yourself to. Like,
Yeah.
this is not good company.
Yeah.
So to me, I just feel like it's just not a good idea to be a toxic boss. But I will say, because we've had producers who did not always love working with us, is that we
They're
are
crazy.
no, I don't think so at all.
Okay.
But we are like demanding that people do a good
Sure.
job.
Yes.
But I don't expect anyone to do a better job than I do myself, or put in more effort than I'm willing to put in myself.
And I think that's true about you.
And so yes, sometimes it is tough working on our stuff, but it's because we're ambitious and we want good quality. And I know some of
Right.
our listeners are like, really? Because I listen to the show all the time, and the quality, I'm not so sure about.
Why? Don't be like that. Don't be
I'm just
like
kidding.
that.
We're doing our best all the time. I don't know what to
We
tell
do.
people.
Thank you.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that we're perfect. But we do. I want the best out of the people that work with us.
Right.
My thing was always, the thing that I was most critical about is that when we would have guests on the show, the producers who would book the guests would develop the prep for us, like the information about the
Right.
guest, what their current thing is and where they're going to be appearing and their social media and all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes some sample questions and things. And to me, when we're sitting in there having a conversation with a guest, that information needs to be accurate.
Right.
Because when I say, oh, you're appearing at whatever, the Provincetown Theater in 2 weeks, and they're like, no, I'm not. Well, that just makes me look bad.
Right.
And nobody listening thinks, oh, Derek's producer really fucked up They're
No,
like,
they think,
no,
oh, that Derek is an idiot.
Derek's not paying attention. Derek doesn't know what's
Right.
going on.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm going to be hard on the other people who put the material in front of me because it has to be right.
Mm-hmm. No, you're
And,
right. You're right.
You know, so anyway, but I don't think that that's necessarily toxic.
Sure, I agree.
You know, we're trying to put good information out there. So I need a good, you know, garbage in, garbage out. I need good information in to put good information out.
Correct.
So all I ask is that they actually make sure that the information they have is good information.
Right, which seems fair.
I think it's fair.
Seems fair to me, Derek.
I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway.
no.
But as we learned early on, you know, I'm not good. You know, I wasn't good about saying thank you to people.
Well, it happens. Sometimes that's hard to remember, frankly.
Yes, but
I often forget to say thank you to people, and then I feel really bad about it.
But it's like the Don Draper thing. You never thank me for my work. That's what the money is for. And I mean,
fair.
I sort of feel like I, what has been so great about Katie K. Cates is she's not somebody who needs constant affirmation
Right.
in order to do her job. Because when you ask Katie, she'll be like, "Oh, I know I'm good at my job.
Right.
Nobody needs to tell me because I know.
Right.
And if anything, she's telling you,
Yeah.
I'm great at my job."
Yes. I do love that
And-
about her.
Right. I love that too. And that she's confident in her work. And also, she does do a good job. So that's why Katie lasted with us as long as she has, because she didn't need praise because she knew that she was doing a good job.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right about that. She is great like that.
Yeah. But I
wish
have
everyone
tried,
was like that.
Yeah. I've tried to get better about it, though.
You and me both, honestly. Because sometimes I'll be like, and I'm trying to instill it in Romy, because I feel like my parents never really instilled saying thank you to people enough in me, and it's a problem in my adult life. And so, like, I always am like, Romy, did you make sure to thank so and so for whatever the thing is? And if she doesn't, I'm like, okay, then you need to do that right now. Like, I'm like, it's a very important step to say thank you for things, because especially if you like the things. Like, if someone does something nice for you, if someone buys you a gift, if you like getting gifts, then you need to say thank you for the gifts that you get. Otherwise, you just look like an ungrateful asshole. And then no one wants to get you a gift again. Or no one wants to help you out again. So you always have to say thank you.
Well, first of all, I mean, I don't want gifts, so
I
that's
love
helpful
gifts.
to me.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. For me, don't you know how much I love a gift? Gifts are my favorites.
I know you do.
But I mean, honestly, though, I do think it is important to show gratitude for the things that you get in life and receive in life, because, it's important. It's important
That's
to say
right.
thank you and to show appreciation. And I certainly, it's funny. So we're talking to Chanel today on the show, but I actually just heard from another intern recently that we had way back in the old facility days, who now has a big corporate job. And it was do you remember our intern Leslie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she reached out to me and she's like, hey, June is coming up and my corporation is looking for inspirational speakers for our LGBTQ month and for our employee group.
They're still doing that, huh?
I guess. She's like, would you be interested in doing that for us? And I was like, of course I would. And then I'm like, tell me more about your life. I want to hear how you're doing, what you've done since you were an intern. Like, I love that. And I will say, we have been very, very lucky over the years that many of our interns have stayed in touch with us in one way or another and have reached out to us over the years to tell us where they're at. And some of them, I don't know about you, Derek, but I keep tabs on several of our old interns through like social media and things like that. Like my favorite one, our old intern Roxy. She was our very first real intern that we had.
Not like the Nicole, the
Right,
ghost
yeah.
intern.
But Roxy was amazing and is amazing. She's now a mom of 3. She's living down in Florida. Like, she's so happy, and I keep a close eye on her. And it just like seeing her happy in life makes me really, really, really happy that we got to play a small part in her life. And and I've kept an eye on her for years because she really meant a lot to us and as our first intern. And so yeah, I do like that about this show, is getting to stay in touch with these young people who were young when they started and no longer are young now. They're actually like grown-ups, and they're doing great things with their lives, and they've all taken different directions. Some of them have stayed in audio, some of them have gone into other places, and it is really great to be able to see where they're at and what they're doing. I love hearing from former interns, though. It makes me very, very happy.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I am excited. I'm always excited when I see them doing well and thriving. And, more recently with like our tech internship program, I'm very excited when our tech interns graduate and get, great jobs.
Yeah.
And, at companies you've heard of. One of our interns, Alan, went to work at Bank of America.
Right.
And Justin and our genius Ivan have gotten jobs at Bloomberg. And so it's just really great to see them come through our internship program and then end up with like great jobs in their field. And not everybody wants to go. Not everybody after their internship ends up in this field, that they interned over.
Right.
But I actually think that is also a sign of success with the internship, because I think the whole point of an internship is to better understand what the job is that you are in school learning to do.
Right.
And it can be clarifying for people that what they want to do with their career based on having a little hands-on experience directly in their field, because school it prepares you, but it's not the same thing as actually being in an office environment working in that field.
Right.
And, our OG original genius Arafat is a perfect example, because he originally wanted to help us develop our smartphone app because he wanted to come up with his own killer app, have his own startup, and make the next whatever Angry Birds or something, right?
Yeah.
And make $1 billion before he was 29, and live on Easy Street. And but working with us, which was a great experience for him, he really loved his internship, but he also saw what it was like to work inside a small startup, and he saw like the administrative work that went into running a small business.
Yeah, all the stuff that nobody sees.
Right. And then he's like, oh, I definitely don't want to do that. Like that part of it is not what I want to do.
Right.
And he got a great job through one of our listeners, and then working inside a bigger company, he found another area of tech that really like lit him up, which was not what he had studied in school necessarily, but he continued his education and moved off into that area of the company, and is very happy and very successful, and it has worked out great. And part of why I think that is because he was able to have the experience of being in a place doing what he thought he wanted to do.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like when I was a little kid and I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian. So my mom told me to go and hang out with a veterinarian. And I did not enjoy putting thermometers in dogs' butts and watching pet surgeries. And I was like, you know what?
Oh.
I do not think that I will grow up to be a veterinarian. I mean,
Yeah.
you have a baby. You put
Yeah.
a thermometer in a butt before.
Oh, yeah. It's gross.
And it's not
not
a
all
fun
glamour.
activity.
Yeah. Well, and actually, being like a vet tech is really gross. You'd have to do
Yeah,
so
it's
many
gross.
gross things. Oh, God. No, thank you. Not for me. Ugh, the things you see and smell. No,
Right. But I thought, oh, I like animals. I'll love
Sure.
being a vet. But
Yeah.
you see animals sort of in their saddest state.
Yeah. Oh, literally,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not playing
It's
with
not an
puppies
easy.
at a puppy
It's
cafe.
not an easy job.
No.
No. Yeah. I agree. Oh, God. Oh,
I know.
sad.
Well, since Chanel is going to be talking to us
Yeah.
about her new book and
Yeah.
about toxic relationships, everything, I thought maybe we should have a little gay problem here.
Whoa. Oh, wait. You know what? I think I have an open for that. Let me see.
I think you do.
Let me see where it's at. Okay, here we go.
What's your gay problem, fag?
So, Derek, here's the thing. All I could see was his penis. It was terrifying for me.
His eyes were up there, Romaine.
Now, if it had been a sexy lady and her pussy had been hanging out, maybe we'd be having a different discussion.
But sweetie, how does that make you feel?
Don't you sweetie me. All right, Derek, what's your gay problem?
Actually, well, I have an old gay problem that was, well, you'll see.
Oh, God. Oh, God. That makes me so nervous when you put it like that.
Okay, so I'll have two gay problems because the first one I don't think is a real gay problem. But anyway, here's the first gay problem. I'm straight. These are old. These are from the old facility, the old days.
Oh, God.
Remember,
Okay,
I
yeah,
found
yeah.
this pile of gay problems and shocking confessions and
Yes.
Let's Get Personal Fridays personals. Okay, so anyway, so here's the first one. I'm straight and work for a gay radio station. Wink. While I have zero problem with the gay community, and zero is in all caps, and I'm nearly treated like a member of the family, in quotes, I'm starting to get really tired of screening anti-gay calls. How many times a day can I handle the pathetic cries of clueless twink-ager wannabes and divorced, insecure, middle-aged truck drivers screaming, "Die, fag, I hate you gays," or "You suck cock, you fucking cum guzzler"?
Oh, that's quite the mouthful there. Mm-hmm.
Would it be okay to take a rocket launcher from Halo 2 exclusively on Xbox, play online with DNR, sign up at DerekandRomaine.com, and fire that fucker through the phone line? Signed, Double D.
Danglin' Dan. That had to been Danglin' Dan.
Yes.
I mean, serious. That was a real problem back in the days at the old facility where, you know, obviously the predominant listening audience of the network in general was straight. And, you know, our channel had a lot of gay listeners. But, you know, it still happens. I mean, I definitely know straight people. You know, actually, the most recent example of that is my neighbor, Brian. So they have a gay pride flag in front of the farm because they support all people. And he has received more than one drive-by, we call them drive-by faggotings, but more than one drive-by faggoting where someone has rolled down their window and yelled faggot at him while he's checking his mail or whatever because he has a gay pride flag outside. And he is not gay. He is, in fact, very, very straight. And so it does happen to people who are not technically a part of our community, and it's unfortunate. But in some ways, I don't think it's a bad thing either, because I think it's important that straight men in particular see some of the vile, hateful behavior that their counterparts, inflict upon gay people, and see it and experience it for themselves. Because I think that's the only time you really understand how horrible it is if you see it and experience it for yourself. Like, your friends can tell you it's horrible, but it's a very different learning experience when you experience it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. But it can be eye-opening because Ben Dover, when he worked on our show, and he had worked at Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he wasn't used to
Insane people.
insane callers.
Right.
But it was really eye-opening for him that people would just call in and call him a fag and everything. It's like, you don't know me. You don't
Right.
know anything about me.
Right.
And you're just screaming these things at me. And it's disappointing because, you know, I don't understand why people have to be trash to random strangers. Like, I understand being trash to a person where you know they're bad, and then you're just terrible to their face. You know, I used to work with somebody, and you know, I had a convertible, and I was leaving the office at like the end of the day, and she was coming back from something, and she said hello to me, and I said, "They're not paying me to be nice to you right now." And I drove off.
Jesus. That's rude.
It was rude. Well, you know, I was not a warm and friendly, fuzzy person. But even still, like, you know what? I don't like you.
Right.
And I'm not interested in engaging with pleasantries with you outside of our work environment and work
that's
hours.
Fair. I don't think I think that's actually quite fair because, you know, let's be honest here. Sometimes you do work with some really shitty people that you wish you didn't have to be nice to.
Anyway, now that I'm at the tail end of my 20s, I don't think I would do that anymore. But
no?
Earlier in my 20s, I absolutely would have engaged in that kind of like a hostile behavior. But you know what? She was terrible.
Well,
I stand by my feelings. She wasn't good at her job, and I said so. And then everyone's like, why can't you just get along with her? Because she sucks at her job. And,
I
you
don't
know,
like her.
and I don't understand why she keeps getting promotions and praise when she sucks.
I don't blame you.
Which, sorry, fair is fair.
Yeah.
So anyway, there are other people who are better at their jobs, who are better qualified. She ain't one of them.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't have to be nice to somebody who sucks at their job, and everyone keeps like promoting and giving bonuses to whatever else. Like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
For sucking? Anyway, so I did not enjoy that. No. But it's, but that's somebody that I actually knew, like the quality of that person. And then I
Right.
was hostile to them. But other people, there's no reason to be hostile to a stranger. You don't know them. You don't know what their thing is.
Right. It's true.
Can't you just pass along a little kindness?
I mean,
And then-
first of all, I would just never be able to do something like that, to just scream some hateful thing at somebody. I don't think I could do it. I just don't think it's in me.
What if it was that bitch Shannon?
My ex?
Yeah.
No, I don't even think I could just scream something hateful at her. I don't like her, but I don't think I would want to lower myself to that level.
Okay, so let's say, let me use an example.
Okay.
Let's say we're on the road.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we run into Shannon, your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
At like the lobby of a hotel where we're staying before we go off on a cruise
Sure.
or something. And she's like, Romaine, big hug. Oh, I'm so glad to see you again. It's been so long. Let's have dinner. Let's catch up. You're available right now?
I would simply say I have no interest in that. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay.
So I
So you would try to do it as like
I
no
would be-
personality as possible.
Yeah, I would be polite, but like I would shut that shit down. And I say this because the last time I spoke with her, I don't know if you remember this, but this happened really, really early. I don't even know. Maybe I wasn't even started at Sirius yet. But she called me. No, I hadn't been. I couldn't have started the job there. But she called me after I moved to New York. I'd been in New York for maybe 5-6 months. She called me one day out of the blue. And after we had this very ugly breakup, and she broke my heart into 1,000 gazillion pieces, and it was really bad. And she did this whole, I just wanted to catch up and see how you're doing, and sweet and saccharine and disgusting. And I was
So the same thing.
Yeah. And I was super nice to her. I let her talk. I heard her out. She told me all about her life, da 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 da. And then when she was done doing what she needed to say to me, I guess, I said, "Are you done?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, well, great." I'm like, because I only have a couple things I need to say. And I'm like, and here it is. I said, "My life is great. Thanks for asking. I have moved to New York. I'm very, very happy. I've made a new life for myself here, and there is no room for you in it. So while I'm glad that you could have this conversation and clear whatever air you needed to clear, I'm like, there is no room for you in my life at this point, and I have nothing left to say. So please don't contact me again." And I hung up the phone. And that was the last time I spoke to her. All those years ago. So, yeah, that's exactly how I would handle it. There is no space in my life for her. And by the way, she's one of the few exes that I feel that way about. She's not even in some ways I would say she's not even the worst of my exes, but there are like Rolanda, right? Like we've talked about Rolanda. Rolanda was physically an abusive ex-girlfriend. Like she actually laid hands on me, and I still talk to Rolanda, but I will never talk to Shannon again. I have zero desire to ever speak to her again. Because the kind of hurt she inflicted was the kind of hurt that you don't forgive. You forgive it in that sense that you got to let it go and you walk away from it. Not in a, I forgive you, you're not a bad person. Because she will forever, in my mind, always be a horrible human being that is not worth my time. And even with Rolanda, it's not like I'm close friends with her, but I will respond to an email if Rolanda was to email me. I would say hello. I would be pleasant. I don't want to have a close relationship with her because I think she's a toxic person too, but I would at least be polite to her. I wouldn't even be polite to Shannon. I mean, I'd be polite enough to say, there's no place for you in my life. That's about as far as I'd go.
Keep your hands off me.
So if I ran into her ever again, and I'm sure it could happen because, the LGBTQ world is not that big. And if it happened, I would just have to walk away because I would just have zero interest in that relationship. Absolutely zero. I hold no love for her in my heart. I hold love for most of my exes, but not for her. She killed that. So, Yeah, that's how I would handle that, Derek. That's how I would handle a toxic person from my past.
Valid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know me, I don't mind telling somebody to their face that I don't like them.
Oh, I know you don't. It's one of my favorite things about you.
But I mean, it's not my best quality.
Well, it's not
but-
your worst quality, though.
Oh, no, I guess. But I also think it might, in some ways, telling somebody, look, this is why I don't like you, might actually be create an opportunity for change. When one of our producers left the show and they said that they were unhappy working with me because I never said, thank you for their work
Right.
or whatever. Like, that was a surprise to me. I
Sure.
did not know that they were unhappy and that I was a source of their unhappiness. And I felt terrible about that.
It's true,
and
you did.
And because of that, I have made much more of an effort to thank people who work for us for various things.
Mhm.
Even if they don't, like Katie's like, I don't need this. And I was like, I know, but, I'm trying to have a good practice here because I really do. I know I have a resting bitch face and also resting bitch voice and also resting bitch posture and attitude. But I really am, grateful for the people around me. I have a wonderful life.
Right.
And it's possible because I am surrounded by wonderful people. It's really easy to have your life dragged down by not wonderful people.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of lucky breaks in my life that have gotten me pretty far. But, a big source of what has made my life work is I'm trying to surround myself with good people who are better than me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am very grateful for those people who remain in my life. And, a lot of the people that I'm friends with, I have been friends with for decades, even though I'm only 29. Because I am loyal to the people that are good people that I know and like. Like, I
Right.
want to keep those people in my life. And so, but I don't always say, you're great. That's just not my personality. But I have
Right.
tried to be better about that just because some people do need to hear that.
Well, you're trying to
And-
make yourself a better person. And you know what? What more could you ask?
I don't know that I'm trying to make myself a better person so much as I am trying to give other people more of what they need from me.
Okay. Well, isn't that inherently making yourself a better person, though?
Not necessarily, because
Oh,
you're either a
okay.
good person or you're not a good
Okay.
person. But
Fair.
I think sometimes you do need to step outside yourself and give other people what they need
Sure.
because they need it.
Yeah.
And it isn't about, necessarily money or time. Sometimes people just need to hear, oh, I like that shirt on you, or, oh, your hair looks cute today, or, whatever. I had a good time hanging out with you.
Right.
It doesn't cost anything to say things like that, especially if you mean them. I mean, if somebody's horrible and you're like, and now that's a baby, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you got to say things that are, I don't know, somewhat disingenuous.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. I have an actual gay problem, though, here before we go to Chanel.
Okay.
And this is a classic from Doug from the archives. Here we go.
Okay.
I am a top. My boyfriend is a bottom. However, lately he has been wanting to top me. His dick is huge. He is 8'7", and his dick is extremely girthy. I love him dearly with all my heart, but I'm afraid that even if he does go slowly, he will rip me apart.
Oh.
I mean, this sounds gross, but my ass bleeds if I have to take a dump and I have a large turd.
Oh.
I want to please him in every way possible, and otherwise our relationship is great. Help! What do I do? Now, this is
Help
obviously an old
help
gay problem. I
indeed.
assume this person has bottomed one time and is already dead from it. R.I.P. But other people face this problem all the time. Romaine, do you have any advice to, I have too small of a hole for my girthy boyfriend?
I mean, here's the reality. Not all holes are designed to fit a big dick. So, I mean, don't hurt your hole. I guess that's my advice. There's lots of tricks. Like, yes, you can practice, breathing and things like that, but don't hurt your hole. You don't want to cause permanent injury to your hole. And if what you're going to cause is permanent injury to your hole because his dick is so big, I mean, he's got to understand he's got a giant dick and then it's not going to fit in every hole. And you might just have to come up with some other more creative means of sexual satisfaction that isn't you ripping up your butthole. Whether that's using different sleeves or things like that. Like, there are still fun ways you can engage that don't require you having your asshole torn apart.
Now, I dated a guy.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
And this is, and this is not me. This is not, this is going to sound like a brag. It's not really a brag, but.
Okay.
Look, I dated a guy and I was, his hole was microscopically small. Sometimes your body is just like, and I think that part of it also was just sort of like he wanted to bottom, but the stress of bottoming and his small, I could never get it in.
Oh.
Just too big for him. It wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And we tried. And, he tried loosening himself up and starting with smaller toys and trying,
right.
But it was just not going to happen.
And that's just how it is sometimes.
He was disappointed. I mean, I think we were both disappointed. I think he was more disappointed than I was. But that sometimes happens.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not, monster truck rally, the Girthinator over here or anything. Because I've said before, my friend Eric dated a guy who now currently, by the way, is happily married. He's been married for a long time. But he dated a guy and Eric was quite a penis enthusiast.
Oh.
And there was a guy where it was like, this penis is just too big.
Right.
Just it's just not going to happen. And this is the only time that somebody has been like, this is too much for me. Most of the time they're like, this is great for me.
Right.
I'm very happy that there's plenty here for me. Right. But in his case, it was like, nope, this is too much. But this other guy, the Eric, couldn't handle. He heard that over and over and over again.
I'm sure he did, because he got a giant penis. Sometimes there's just holes that it doesn't fit into.
But it gave him a complex.
Oh.
It made him shy about dating because his penis was too big.
Mm.
And all the time people were like, I can't do it.
Right.
And it made him sad because he felt very personally rejected about something he couldn't do anything about.
Right.
Much the same way if your penis is too small,
sure,
that you're going to feel rejected by people for something that you have no control over. So, on either extreme end, that's how it's going to go. But I think this guy, look, you know what? I get it. He has a big penis. I think you just have to be honest of this is not going to happen.
Right.
But, I mean, you can try, but if taking a big dump rips you open...
Well,
you guys are going to be in a horror show.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to happen one time. You're going to bleed all over him, and then it's not going to happen. He's going to stop asking.
Right. Yeah, you're probably right on that. Oh, Jesus. What a topic, Derek. My poor bloody asshole.
You got to be careful. That is a sensitive area of the body.
Listen, and you don't want to permanently damage it because that could be quite dangerous. And you need your butthole most days so you can't just have it all banged up.
Depends, June.
Oh, God. No, Derek. No. Enough. I can't with you.
Well, it doesn't depend that you will enjoy our conversation. That wasn't a great transition, but I'm doing my best here. You know what? We've been at this a long time. Not every conversation makes an easy transition to the next conversation.
You're right. It's true. But we do have a great conversation coming up in just a few minutes.
Yes, with our former intern, Chanel Clark, talking about her latest book about her toxic family.
Ooh,
My Family Can Kiss My Ass. That's coming up next here on Derek and Romaine.
More Derek and Romaine next.
Derek here along with Romaine, and joining us now, our returning champion. She's never heard that joke before. Chanel Jasmine Clark is with us. She is a past DNR intern, and based on her experience interning with us, she has dedicated her career to dealing with narcissistic people. And we are here to learn all about her latest book, My Family Can Kiss My Ass. which is available now on Amazon and everywhere fine books are sold. And of course, you can also find her in social media as well. She is spiritual whistleblower on TikTok and Instagram. Chanel, welcome back to DNR.
Guys, I can't believe you guys. Oh my God, this is a reunion.
It really is. Now, I was joking that your internship led you on this path of dealing with narcissistic people, but you did intern with us in 2011, and this is how your life has turned out. So now that you have a lot of experience here dealing with narcissism, where do you rank Derek and Romaine among the narcissistic people that you have encountered and dealt with over the years?
You guys are nowhere in that picture. I was dealing with narcs way before you guys did, my entire family. So no, you guys are like the brightest part of my career. And I'm not just saying that. So no.
That is very sweet because I recently had this conversation with my therapist where I described myself as a narcissist, and my therapist said, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me give you my laundry list of reasons why I feel like I might be a narcissist." Ultimately, what we decided was I'm not a narcissist. I'm a narcissist in recovery.
I don't think you're a narcissist at all. I wouldn't be working with you, Ro. I hate them. I despise them. No.
Well, that's good to know.
So, Chanel, tell us a bit about what took you on this path of dealing with narcissistic personalities and sort of sharing your experience with the world.
Well, long before I got into the entertainment industry and did what I did and I met you guys, I had no relationship with either side of my family. Like I felt like this is a childhood thing, just constantly being bullied. Like I was wearing a target on my back. And from mom bullying me, dad not being around and not caring or protecting me from mom. And that continued until I became an adult. It was just always something with me. And then like the family ganging up and getting behind my mother or others. I was always bullied. And I shook it off. I didn't know what it was. I knew something was off, but I just didn't take the time to address it. So I pushed through, I persevered. Even with, my daughter being a single mom, put myself through school, and I just dealt with things head on. I kept going. And a lot of it's from childhood too. There's a term called parentification where your parents, I don't know if you heard the term latchkey kid. I was a latchkey kid. So they kind of turn you into a parent when you're a child and make you super responsible, robbing you of your childhood. So I've been responsible for a long time, taking care of my siblings. So I just pushed through life and I said, well, I'm going to finish my goals. I may be a single mom, but I'm going to keep going and push through. Went to school and I was pursuing my bachelor's at the time I met you guys. So that narc stuff has always been there. I just didn't know there was a title, a label for it. And I had to cut family out for a while and just pursue my goals. And I got through college. And I took a break after you guys, and then I went back to grad school and I got my master's. And I said, you know what? Let me just spend time writing. Because I did a few other internships after you guys. I interned for Double XL Magazine. They're like a worldwide hip hop.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Hot 97, which is another radio station in New York, they're pretty big. And it's a lot of dark stuff in that hip hop industry, which is another reason I pulled back and I just focused on motherhood. And I got into a lot of writing. So I said, what do you want to write about? Write about what's passionate, things you went through, and see who identifies. I started a YouTube channel, not to gain an audience. I just to vlog and vent. And people just wanted to hear more for some reason. And that's how I got my following. So that's how I'm here today with that. But you guys were like a breath of fresh air. All of that. So don't know. I don't work with narcissists. Once I detect it, I get up out of there. So no.
Well, I mean, I, for one, as somebody who, like Romaine, wants to see myself as the most important person in the world, am a little disappointed that we're not the most narcissistic people you ever met. Now I feel like we have some work
step
to
up
do.
our game.
Yeah.
I'll just say this, Derek, because I'm in grad school. I'm slowly pursuing a doctorate towards psych. I'm heavily into psych, and I do another podcast with a psychologist. She invites me on her show, and we have talks. Um, Everybody, you and me, we all have narcissistic tendencies.
Sure.
But there's a difference from having the tendencies from the full-blown disorder. The people with the full-blown disorder are the terrorists. They're the ones that go and manipulate. They intend to hurt and manipulate people. But you're supposed to think highly of yourself. You're supposed to have high self-esteem. So we all, even our children, everybody has narc tendencies. We have a society that pushes it on us, social media, everything. Your family, we grow into it. So it's okay to have the tendencies, as long as you keep them in check. It's just the people that have the full-blown disorder, they're the ones we have to watch out for.
So when you talk about these people, what are the things we're watching out for? What are the signs? Like, what are the telltale, oh shit, I'm involved with a narcissist?
Romaine's taking notes because she wants to know what to do.
Yeah.
One of the big ones, Romaine, is boundaries. They hate boundaries. So if you say the word no, and this is like I said, this is a pattern. If you're watching this person over a long period of time and they just keep repeating this shit, they have a problem with boundaries or overstepping yours. They don't like to be told no. You can tell them, please don't contact me. And they continue to break contact, things like that. Narcissists hate boundaries. They hate being told no. They can't handle rejection of any sort, or they'll get revenge on you for doing that. But they have overinflated egos, overinflated self-importance. I'm bigger than you, me. With some of the other things, they pit people against each other. They're messy, they're gossipy. That's so they can feel important because they're in control of the whole narrative. They love to control the narrative of how they're perceived by the outside world. So it's really self-inflated behavior, and it's deep rooted in shame and insecurities.
So what I find interesting about your story, Chanel, is that it really starts with your family, right? Like, your mom is clearly the first narcissist that you've really identified in your life as someone who didn't respect any of your boundaries, who treated you badly. So when it's someone in your family, you're bonded to this person, whether you want to be or not, it's blood. How do you set a boundary with a narcissist within your own family?
Romaine, listen, from my experience and just talking to so many others have gone through the same thing, it's hell breaking. If you attempt to set a boundary with your family, you could even tell them in the most polite way, I need some time to myself, or I'm going to move. Then it becomes a witch hunt. They gang stalk you. So it's no other way than it's like ripping the Band-Aid. You have to rip away, and you kind of have to move in silence and keep them out of your business when you set a boundary. And then, once you put some distance in between yourself and family, they're going to come after you with questions and stuff. It's up to you. Me personally, I'm like, change your phone number, let them contact you through email, keep contact very limited, but they're going to try like hell to overstep boundaries. As an adult, you got to break out of there and put the distance there and explain later. I'm not telling you what I'm doing now. I'm an adult. They feel entitled to know all your business. No, you're an adult. You do what you want. You move how you want to move. But it's like I said, ripping a Band-Aid off, just do it and explain later.
Go ahead, Dirk.
I think there's a lot about your experience with your family that I think will resonate with a lot of our LGBTQ listeners, in the sense that, as you know, when people come out as gay or lesbian, bisexual, transgender, just queer, non-binary, sometimes families are accepting, certainly more now than they were, in past decades. But lots of people within our community have dealt with families that were not accepting, were really toxic about their who they are and their relationships and everything. And it can be a struggle to reconcile the love that you have for your family with the toxicity of this kind of rejection and control and these kinds of things. So I I think that this is something that many LGBTQ people deal with in very similar circumstances. And it's harder to ignore when your family is very aggressively like closing the door on your life, as opposed to, sometimes people have toxic relationships with their parents and they have kind of a blind eye to how toxic it is. And it's kind of a third rail to ever mention to another person, like,
Right.
oh, by the way, your mom is crazy. And, a lot of people who love their parents don't want to hear that or don't want to know that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on all of that, Derek.
But then too, people, that's how you have to be careful. You can only like talk about this to people that relate, because then you're going to get guilt tripped and gaslit so bad. Well, that's still your mother. She brought you into this world. Or they might throw some Bible scripture in there. They love to use the Bible to manipulate. You only die. That the Bible says, honor thy mother, honor thy father. You'll get dumped with that when you go around telling people this. You can only talk to those that have been in your shoes. So that's another thing. You have to be cautious with who you share with, And I'm glad you guys have a community where we could have these types of conversations, because Derek, you're right. The LGBT, I'm sure many of them can identify. The thing is too, like what we learn, what I've learned about my mother, the things that she bullied me about, she was guilty of doing when she was a younger person.
Sure.
There's such hypocrites, but they don't know how to communicate and have that conversation. They project and they turn into tyrants, when you try to live your life independently of theirs. But they don't want you pointing out nothing they did wrong. And 9 times out of 10, they've done it 10 times worse than what you're doing. I promise you.
Yeah, my general feeling, if there's somebody I don't like, I tend to feel like whatever it is about them I don't like is something about myself that I don't like that I'm seeing one of my own behaviors reflected back at me. And and so it's good to sort of think about those kinds of things. And I think this happens with parents and kids. Parents and their kids tend to be a lot alike. And the tension often happens in the areas where they are the same, not the areas where they're different. Because if you don't like that you're a procrastinator, you're really going to hate it that your kid is a procrastinator, and things like that. And I think that it's good to take a step back and look at what the upset is, and then see, well, is this about they're mad at me because they see in me themselves, or am I mad at them because of something in them that I see in myself?
But narcissists don't have the ability to self-reflect.
No.
They're not self-aware. So there goes that argument. So you have no other choice. They put you in this position where you have to cut them off because they don't reason. They're not going to look at their own flaws to have that conversation. So it's you don't want to cut them off. You love them, but they put you in that position where you have no other choice.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the people who are the most problematic are the ones who do not realize or acknowledge how problematic they are. I mean, I think this is the thing, Romaine and I keep saying like, oh, we're such narcissists, whatever. But, we're pretty self-aware. Like, this is our career. We talk about ourselves all day. I don't own a shirt that doesn't have my name on it anymore. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, that's pretty crazy behavior. But I also am aware that this is not a usual path a person would take. And so I try to be conscious of it, of like, okay, I know this is crazy. And so I just have to always keep that in mind when I'm in other interactions with other people, that this part of my life is not normal. And I need to engage with people in a normal way outside of what this is. But yes, to your point, a true narcissist has no idea how narcissistic they are. They don't know how toxic they are to other people, and they're unwilling to hear or know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you have pursued this, Chanel, as a career. And I'm very curious about your experience on TikTok. Obviously, it's been in the news recently about the potential of being shut down here in the U.S. That seems not to be happening. But what drew you to TikTok with Spiritual Whistleblower? And What do you think has been the secret sauce for you in attracting so many followers? Because you have over 600,000
Yeah.
followers on TikTok.
That's insane. That's awesome.
And
Remain jealous.
I built 12,000 in the last week, so it's picking up pretty fast. So I'm at 612 now. The thing when TikTok first started, it's much different now, but TikTok used to be a place where the weirdos like myself, the people, that were different or unique, I was the fat girl that got bullied in high school, and now all the popular kids are crap now, and they're trying to chase me and get it's that type of situation with me. But TikTok allowed you to find your community. So you can connect with so many people that are just like you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's how it grew so fast, because the algorithm leads you to people like yourself. And few of my videos have gone super, super viral too. That's another thing too. Like, I've had the daytime talk show. They're no longer in syndication now, but The Real, which aired, I think, they took one of my videos and they had a whole roundtable discussion on their show, which I was like, wow. And I've had producers reach out to me, like Lifetime reached out to me. Would you be interested in being on a reality show? So, there's a lot of opportunities that come with it, but I think because I'm not looking for any opportunities, I'm genuinely out here trying to help people with the information. Now TikTok has changed. They have a program called the Creator. It's a rewards program where they pay you. The more views you get on your videos, the more money they pay you. So here come all the toxic rage baiters.
Right.
So it's the energy has changed from the people being authentic and creative. Now we have all these toxic people on because they're in it for the money. But that's what I joined TikTok for, because it allowed me to be myself and connect with people like me. And the algorithm will put you in reach with the people you're trying to reach. So that's what I love about it. But yeah, my following grew. I wasn't trying, like, I'm not in it for the money or the other stuff. I'm just out here trying to help people. And I guess that's why people like me so much.
So what are your videos like for people who've never seen them?
There's a range. I go in between calling out toxicity in family members, toxicity in romantic relationships. I'll dress up and get real pretty and teach people how to break out of codependency. Like, I live a life by myself. I can take myself to 5-star restaurants. I vacation all over the world. I can do it all alone. And I just teach people you can be happy as a loner. What's the problem with going to a diner and sitting down and eating by yourself? Some people make fun of that. I don't get it. So self-care. I have self-care videos on how to, live life by yourself independently and be happy. And then I go back to teaching about narcissistic abuse in all aspects. I talk about it in the workplace, family, love life, all of that. So it's a balance between the two.
I want to go back to this whole idea of single living, because I find this really interesting. So
she's looking forward to it as soon as she can get rid of her wife.
Yes.
And daughter.
So when I travel, like when we do DNR adventures, and I travel, about half the time I travel all by myself, and I fucking love it. It's my favorite thing ever. I love it, love it, love it so much. And I mean, I miss my family a little bit, but not a lot of it.
Not that much.
But I will say the hardest thing to get used to was going and eating alone, like going to a restaurant, because when you're on a cruise ship, there are all these nice restaurants that you can go to, and going by yourself and having lunch by yourself. And at first I felt so awkward about it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm the only one here eating all by myself. Should I be looking for someone to have food with? And now I'm like, no, stay away. I love it so much, but it did take some real getting used to.
Well, you're a mom like me too. Like, my whole life has been devoted to motherhood, and just, you don't realize, like, when you get by yourself and you start to, it takes some time. It took time for me too. But once I got into, like, hey, this isn't so bad after all, I like this me time, then it got pretty easy. But when you devote yourself to taking care of others so much, and that's been your whole life, it's gonna feel awkward.
Yeah. I will say my favorite thing before getting married, before having a child, was going to the movies alone. And again, it took me a while to get used to it. But then when I realized, A, I don't have someone talking to me in the middle of the movie or asking me questions or eating my popcorn, and I could just do all that stuff by myself and I didn't have to worry about any of that other bullshit, it became my favorite thing ever. And I used to do it all the time. And I agree. I think even if you are in a relationship, sometimes taking that completely you time is super important.
Yes. Yeah, I want to walk around the house naked. I want to do
Yeah.
things. I don't want to be bothered. So
Yeah. That's the dream. You're living the dream, Chanel, is what I'm saying. I might be jealous of your life.
get my daughter out the house now, transition to her own place because she's bleeding my pockets. That's another reason. Is once she leaves the house, I'm going on triple vacations. I'm out of there. It's a party for celebration.
Smart. Absolutely brilliant.
But I'm with Romaine on this. I really the going to the movies alone, going and sitting in a restaurant and eating alone was hard. That was hard for me to, like, a hard barrier for me to get over. Just because I really felt judged by other people of like, oh, they're judging my aloneness. But when we travel, I'm with Romaine. The traveling alone does not bother me at all because I just don't feel the same thing on, like, on a cruise ship. If I'm in the buffet or something eating alone, I don't feel like people are judging me because there are a lot of people there who are eating alone. They got up earlier than whoever they're traveling with and they were hungry and they go and get breakfast or something, or you're on a different timetable with other people that you're traveling with, or you're traveling with your kids and you just need a meal alone without them. So people, I think it's different in that circumstance, but I'm sure that for a lot of people, it is difficult because we have such a society that is built around valuing coupling up, valuing being in a relationship, valuing having parents or having kids, and that anybody who is not participating visibly in that is seen as a suspect person.
Right.
And so it's hard to get over feeling suspect because of all of this sort of, societal pressure. But to the thing about dealing with narcissists, you also have to just sort of not deal with the judgments of the world. If you're not doing anything that is harmful to you or other people, like there is nothing harmful about eating alone in a restaurant, then you should not feel guilty or weird about doing it.
Right. I want to add too, since we're talking about vacations, narcissists are the worst people to go on vacations with. They ruin vacations. I don't know if you've heard, like, people go on the vacations in groups, like mean girls traveling together and ganging up on one girl or spoiling a vacation. They love to spoil vacations because what it is, they can't stand to see other people happy. That's another reason why I travel on vacation alone, because I don't want to be in a group and one person just spoils it for everybody, which usually happens. So,
That's why you got to go on a DNR cruise, because our group, that doesn't happen.
coming. It's long overdue.
Yeah.
Since you are a big success on TikTok, and then you mentioned quite a bit of the toxicity that can come from some of the content creators, not just on TikTok, but also Instagram. Back in the 90s, we used to talk about what the fashion magazines did to young girls, the pressure to look pretty or thin, also the emphasis on whiteness of, like, as the beauty standard. And but I feel like all of that has been turbocharged by social media and people living inauthentic lives in social media for likes and clicks. And then it makes everyone else feel bad that their house doesn't look like somebody else's house, their family doesn't look like somebody else's family, their clothes don't look like somebody else's clothes. And so what is your feeling about sort of the toxicity in general of social media, and how can people overcome some of that, especially younger people?
Well, I think we're seeing a great divide now. The younger people is going to be a bit of a challenge because, like I said, I have my daughter. She's 24 now, and I'm still dealing with those issues. She gets on social media and she compares her life to everybody. And I have to constantly tell her, those people on social media, most of that is fake. The fancy cars and all that, a lot of that stuff is rented. A lot of people are living way above their means, but they post this and that to show off on social media. It's not real. So I think for like Gen Z, the upcoming generation of youth, it's going to be very difficult. That's why I'm saying our society is highly narcissistic, and we don't think about our youth when we're doing, setting examples and all that on social media. But in terms of what I would do and people like me is continue to stay authentic, because I see it happening now. There's like a great divide on social media. People are getting fed up of the fake shit, and they're gravitating towards the truth tellers and the people that are creative and authentic. It's just slowly, it's gravitating towards that way, because, those toxic content creators are not going to change because they're benefiting, they're making money. So why change?
Yeah.
So
Right.
all you can do as an authentic person is stay in your lane, and people are going to figure out over time. And I also feel too that the toxic people, a lot of them are self-sabotaging. A lot of them are caught in illegal stuff behind closed doors. A lot of that stuff is catching up to them, and they're outing themselves. And then people are like, oh, I've been following you all this time. Let me not follow you. Let me go over here now. So it's kind of like the trash taking itself out. That's what's going to happen, I feel, over time. But our youth is a different story. I'm a little concerned because they're tough. This generation coming up is, you can't tell them shit. They got to kind of like find out on their own. And but I fight daily. I've been for years telling my daughter, get off social media. That stuff is fake. Be happy with yourself. She's like, Mom, you walk around just in, hoodies and, happy go lucky. You don't care. I don't care. I'm happy as is. I don't get jealous of anybody. I'm blessed and happy. You should try it. So, it's a struggle with the youth. That's why.
Yeah.
That's
mean-
that's an understatement.
I mean, my biggest worry, honestly, about social media and just sort of the internet in general, but really, I think social media is sort of the like the real kernel of where this is starting, is the absence of truth and reality.
Yes.
And we're already in a situation where, like with the TikTok algorithm, which in some ways is beneficial, of like, oh, if you're on TikTok and you like certain things, it's going to, serve you more like-minded content, and you're going to end up in a community of people that you like and agree with and everything. But the downside of that is, if you believe something crazy, the algorithm is going to help you find hundreds of thousands of other people who believe something crazy. And then
True.
it's impossible to get out of it. And, it used to be, obviously, like the Manson family. There have been other cults and sort of weird fringy movements that have happened. But it was more difficult for them to gain traction because they had to be in person. They had to recruit in person, and they were in like a larger community that would sometimes push back against it. Not necessarily white supremacy, as we've seen, in the past. You have a racist town. It's very hard to like have another idea if all the white people who live in this town are super racist, right? But in general, sort of the fringiest ideas have struggled to take root because it was hard to find like-minded people. But the internet has made it possible for very fringy ideas to blossom, and a total lack of reality or fact-checking allows people to live in a completely unreal world. And so my worry for young people, because Romaine and I have both dealt with this recently, because we have Wikipedia pages.
Yes.
And when Wikipedia started, because, like us, we grew up with regular old encyclopedias and magazines and the newspapers and like real news sources. And not the information on Wikipedia is not real information, but we didn't
Tell that to young people nowadays.
Right. We didn't take Wikipedia on the same level as the Encyclopedia Britannica. But younger generations coming up, the Wikipedia is as reliable to them as a history book or anything else. And to me, I find that very unsettling because if they can't tell the difference between information on one web page or another web page of what's real, what's not real, then their sense of reality will be impossible to claw back.
Yeah. They Google everything and they have Chat GBT. They just got it made. So,
Yeah, but they're not
But
always
is it
getting
really
good
made because
information.
they're not getting the truth?
getting the truth. That's the thing. So, and who's teaching them how to fact check? That's the other thing.
Yeah. But I also think it's just going to drive people more like just into themselves. They're going to feel like they don't trust any information or anything that is presented to them. And they will just separate out from the internet and social media, and their lives will become entirely localized. And you know, in some ways that's probably psychologically healthy, but also it cuts you off from very positive things that are in the world or positive information and you know, important information that can keep you safe or allow you to grow and thrive. So I'm a little worried about the future, especially for young people, because they won't be able to discern reality the way we do.
That's
But
the word, discernment. Their discernment is distorted.
yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to end on a get off my lawn. These young people today, they don't understand how good we had it. Like it's terrible to have gotten to that place, but I do think that the internet is a different kind of threat than radio or television was to previous generations. And then, you know, we'll add in AI, and AI already has a problem with distinguishing reality.
Yeah.
And so I think it's only going to like turbocharge. All right. Well, Chanel, I want you to end on a positive note. Give us something positive for our group after I like dragged us down.
Yeah, way to
at
go,
the end.
Derek. Thanks for that.
Give you guys something positive.
Yes.
It could be anything.
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank you both because you played such an instrumental part in the success of my career. You know, everything was a learning experience. For most of the part, I was involved in the hip hop journalism and that part. And I ventured out with you guys and because I wanted to try something different. I want to learn different things and, you know, not just that world. And so you guys were like a breath of fresh air. I learned the whole, you know, putting together a commercial. You gave me opportunity to do talk radio. The fans, the supporters were amazing. Shout out to Stanton, by the way. And you guys were a breath of fresh air. And I'm glad that you extended an extra semester. I hated to see the first semester and you guys said you can come back for a second semester. So that meant a lot to me because I was graduating the second semester. But once I finished with you guys and I just realized the industry I was in was dark. I knew back then, and now seeing it today on television in a whole different space.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I got out of it. But I can always reflect back. You guys were probably the most amazing part of my journey. I've seen a lot of stuff. I gained, you know, journalism, all that stuff, media training, all that from the other stuff that I did. But I witnessed a lot of dark stuff. And I just want to say you guys are just like a bright spot in my career path. And I owe some of my success to you guys. So we're going to end this on a positive note. I just want to say thank you from the most humble place. And thank you, Romaine, for, you know, I'm considering starting a podcast in the future. And she was just so generous to help me, you know, with some guidelines and getting organized, even though I don't know what I'm doing. Right?
We'll get you there, girl. Don't worry.
Not knowing what we're doing is our specialty.
Yeah,
so,
it really
yeah.
is. We fly by the seat of our pants all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, so I just am truly grateful to be able to reach back and have these type of connections and resources from amazing people. So just on a positive note, thank you to both of you.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you. I will say, Chanel, we've had a lot of interns over the years, and we don't stay in touch with all of them. In fact, there's a very few that we actually stay in close contact with over the years. And you are one of the ones that we have stayed in touch with over the years. And I think part of it was, we can usually recognize when someone comes into our universe. They just have the talent, they have the passion, they have the drive, and we recognize it pretty early on because we're narcissists. No, I'm kidding. Because we see what we saw in ourselves, I think, as a lot of it, and so it makes it very easy to recognize. But I'm super proud of you. I love the directions you've taken in your career. I love when you saw that you needed to course correct and say, "Oh, this is not the direction I need to go in. I'm going to try this way instead." That you're not afraid to do that, I think, is really a big part of your success, and I'm glad that we were able to be just a little part of that.
Yeah, but I will just say, Wizard of Oz style, it was inside you the whole time. I'm just glad this was an opportunity for you to shine, and I'm thrilled to see you thriving in the way that you are, Chanel, and it's wonderful to catch up. And please, we hope you'll join us again soon.
Yeah.
So next time, Derek, you have some KFC set aside.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm right there with you. All right. Our thanks to Chanel Jasmine Clark for being with us, our past intern from 2011. You can check out her book, My Family Can Kiss My Ass. It's available on Amazon, everywhere fine books are sold. And be sure to follow her on TikTok and Instagram. She is Spiritual Whistleblower in both of those places. Our thanks to Chanel for being with us here on Derek and Romaine. Well, there you have it. The end of another perfect episode of Derek and Romaine. And if you want more great fun, go to dnrstudios.com and subscribe to get our show every day. And don't forget, for DNR Plus subscribers, you can use the DNR Cast app for iPhone, available now in the App Store.